Mano nivritti paramo prashanti satirthavarya manikarnika Jnana pravaho vimala diganga sarvajikaham nijabodharupa Yasyamidam kalpitamindраjalam characharam bhati manovilasam Satchit Sukhaita Paramatmarupa Sakashikaham Nijabodharupa. These two verses are the most important. If these two are gained, then the other three are very easy to assimilate. And right in the beginning, the Shankaracharya, who composed it, has packed a punch. And in the beginning, we saw the Tvampada, the Tvampada Vichara. In fact, this is a text which is Tvampada Pradhanya, Pradhana, means it has Tvampada Pradhanya, means it is mostly interested in understanding the truth of myself after, as Sakshi, after removing all the various things that do not belong. After training the mind, you can come here. Plenty of space. Please come. After training the mind, after preparing the mind, what do we get? We get that it's a not this body, I am not the sum total of this body, mind, sense complex. And then this Shanti that I seek. Everybody seeks Shanti. Nobody says, I want to not have peace. That is a universal desire to have peace. And so that Shanti, we all know Shanti, or we all know a person called Shanti. so, so this Shanti, the one that we know is Kada Chitka, means comes and goes. Comes and goes. Every night Shanti comes. Shanti visits as soon as you have gone to sleep. You just missed her. Okay, but you experienced her nonetheless. And then what happens in the morning? Bye bye Shanti. Along with when you stretch and wake up, Ashanti comes, the opposite of Ashanti comes and demands a cup of coffee even before you do. Yeah, Ashanti is jacked up, and then Ashanti runs your life until you drop down at the end of the day and say, okay, I'm going off to sleep again. And sometimes Shanti also visits during the day when you are in a good mood, when something else is very easy, things are going easily, you don't have to struggle. Once in every while, there is no struggle. I don't know when the last time it was, don't ask me. It was very long back, people will say, but nonetheless, there is a faint memory of just having a day where you don't complain, or having at least part of the day where you don't complain. I'm still getting disbelieving looks. Okay, having at least 1 hour per day where you don't complain. Okay, now everybody is with me. So, where you don't complain, and so that Shanti also is elusive. It doesn't take much for that Shanti also to go. So, therefore, here the recipe for Parama Shanti, the Shanti that comes and that doesn't come and doesn't go, the Shanti that is you, but that which is eclipsed by the Rahu and Ketu of desires. Who are Rahu and Ketu? Yeah, shadow planets. And it is just what, eats up the self-shining self as though. Eats up the self-shining self. And we have this very beautiful story in the story of Hanumanji. Baby Hanuman one day said, saw the sunrise and said, apple. He confused the sun for an apple. He was a big baby, I forgot to tell you. And so what did he do? It's just it's a very nice allegory of what happens. And so he leaped up, caught the apple, and then swallowed the apple. And of course, after Hanuman, baby Hanumanji swallowed the apple, all the three worlds were plunged into darkness. Nobody knew where they were going, where they were coming. They didn't have fluorescent lights back then. They didn't have all kinds of things back then. And it was pitch dark. Everybody, was going bump in the night and bumping into other people. And then finally, the sages went and told him that wasn't an apple. Here we have an apple for you. Please spit out the sun. So then, in the poet's imagination, the Hanumanji spits out the sun. Spits out the sun, and everything is all well again. The worlds are lighted up. And so, this shows what happens when there is no self shining self. We can't even imagine the absence of the sentient self, we cannot imagine. But supposing there was no self shining self, then there would be no retreats, no Vedanta, no nothing. No pursuits whatsoever, no dharma, artha, kama, nothing. No sentient person means what? There is no sentience to cognize anything. So there would be no cognition, no knowledge, no recognition of anything else, or for that matter, even oneself. This would be our state of affairs. So therefore, here the text starts with how the discovery of this self-shining self as myself and the abidance in this self is contingent upon how much Shanti and for how long this Shanti I will enjoy. So if you want to abide in Shanti, if you want a permanent abidance in Shanti, what do I have to do? Cultivate a rich inner life by rescuing the mind from the clutches of the eclipsing entities such as Rahu and Ketu, which cast a pall. That's why they are appalling. And so what do? They make one not think properly. And they make us live the inauthentic life. Authentic life means that which is in keeping with the vision of myself in the Shastra. What does the Shastra say? You are not afflicted, you are free of sorrow, you are free of pain, you are great, grand, and wonderful, you have no problems at all. That's the Shastra. And not only that, you are whole, limitless, and you are one with the cause of the universe. So you're one with the cause of the universe, you're one with Ishvara. This is the vision. And why should I subscribe to this vision? Because secretly, this is what I want. I want to be on the top. I want to be the whole. I want to be limitless. It is in keeping, it's a vision that is in keeping with my desires. It's not outside of my desires, it's very much in keeping with my desires. And so, therefore, this is really, really what I want. And this want is eclipsed by all the other wants. The primal want of, ironically speaking, not wanting to be a wanting person. That's the primal want. I don't want to be a wanting person. I want to stop desiring all these dead end things. This is the primal want. I want to be fulfilled. I want to be free. I want to be whole. I want to be complete. This is what I really want. And then, if this want is not understood, and if I'm not in touch with this want morphs into a whole lot of other wants. And this is where Rahu Ketu come into the picture. They eclipse my own nature away from me, and this wonderful sun and the wonderful moon, which are equated to the Atma because they are shining, celestial, shining objects. And so, this Atma, which is like the sun, self shining, starts to have a complex. Oh, I'm not shining today. Rahu has come in my life, Ketu has caught me. And so this way, the recipe for Shanti, which is the synonym for moksha here. Moksha means freedom from longing, freedom from becoming, freedom from all kinds of afflictions, freedom from all kinds of addiction to a life that is constantly changing, and to things that are finite. So the addiction to the finite is samsara, whether it may look to be in the form of events, things, people, what have you. And so, therefore, what do I have to do? I have to withdraw the mind and then have a rich inner life. And we also spoke at length of how that inner life has to proceed and how there is an outward sadhana and also an inward sadhana. Outward sadhana is stopping, cutting the link between action and result of action by dedicating the results of action for self growth, no other reason. And then by receiving the results of, by dedicating the action for self growth rather than anything else, and then by learning to receive the results of action as a gift, prasada, from who? Ishvara. This was Bahiranga sadhana. Antaranga sadhana means the putting the antahkarana, putting the mind on a diet of japa. Yeah, what will it have for breakfast? Om Namah Shivaya. What will it have for lunch? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. What will it have for dinner? Om Dum Durgayai Namaha. This is what it should have. And so when the vital vitals of the mantra are fed to the antakarna, then it grows fat. How? In Shanti. Yeah, you have to fatten the mind up. Why? By making it aware of its true nature. And the true nature, of course, is taught in the Vedanta class, but even though we say Vedanta does not require practice, and that is true, because this is not the theory and then I have to practice it. But I don't have to practice, but I have to prepare the mind so that whatever is taught is understood. And if in an unprepared mind, if you sow the seeds of knowledge, they will not grow. It's like trying to sow the seeds on hard rock in the sun. What will happen? The seeds will get roasted. Good for eating, not for planting. Yeah, because these days everybody is eating all kinds of seeds. Sunflower seeds, what else? Chia seeds. Yeah, chia seeds. Yeah, that is what chia seed. Chia seed and flax seed are same. Chia seed. Before in the 70s, they used to have something called chia pet. The same seeds were planted in the shape of a small animal. Yeah. And then you had it as a pet. Why? Because you were incapable of taking care of anything else. So, before you graduated to a live plant, you had a chia pet. That's how it is. And some people are much more, there's a lot of enterprising things going on there. Very interesting cycle. Even though it's a little off topic, I think we should indulge ourselves in this because this is something which I noticed, which is very, very funny. So one person told me that, I am selling pet rocks. Small rocks. Just outside your house, what you get. Okay. And so what would they do? They would wash the rock, pebbles, rocks, not pebbles, little bigger. This big, what you call rock, right? Yeah. So they would wash the rocks. Come here, come inside. Yeah. So they would wash the rocks. So you start off with a pet rock, okay? Because you can't have anything alive in the house. You're incapable of taking care of anything alive. So what do? Start with pet rock. And then that rock they would paint. They would paint one heart on it. They would paint one om on it and then sell it there. Somebody was very enterprising. So then from pet rock, you graduated to Chia pet. Chia pet would self-destruct. After a while, it would look like a mop. Okay. Yeah. So then, and then after that, you graduated to a plant that needs to be only watered whenever you remember. That's all it was. Okay. So from there, if you still were growing all right, then you graduated to a real live pet. All right. In the form of dog, cat, etc. And some enterprising people also keep snakes and whatnot, alligators, snakes, and other things. One man tried to bring his pet alligator on the plane, but anyway, that's for a different retreat. I can't exhaust all the stories now. So. So then, so then after live pet and everything like that, then you say, okay, now I'm ready to get married. Okay, yeah, because I won't kill anybody. I'm now grown up enough. Then after marriage, what? I'm ready to have a child. I can look after everything. And then after that, you say, okay, this is samsara, too much samsara. What should I do? And then what? You just have to meditate and I have to do this. And then what? You go and buy one Shivalinga. We say that is our original pet dog. Shivalinga. We have Om Namah Shivaya, Shivalinga, that is our original pet rock. And so, anyway, so this is how the mind is trained, and the training of the mind is what is needed for Shanti, Parama Shanti, a Shanti that does not go away, a Shanti that is not equated to death, because we only know Shanti as sleep and death. We don't know anything else. So that's why when you have a Shanti moment, when you have a peaceful moment in the Vedanta class, what comes? Sleep. We don't know how to relax without going to sleep. This is the problem. So, manasaha uparatihi, the withdrawal of the mind from all kinds of nonsensical thoughts, feelings, objects of want, desires, etc., is the recipe for ultimate shanti in the form of moksha. Not directly, indirectly, because what we need is Vedanta Shastra, Shravanam we need, and then so when you do Shravanam with an empty mind, actually something goes in. So this is the idea. Then this internal journey is called going to Kashi. And what is Kashi? The self-shining self, which is the fruit, which is moksha phalam, jnana phalam. And so what is the jnana phalam? Abiding in, getting to know and abiding in the self that is free of all pains, sorrows, etc. That is called Kashi here, because the word Kashi, there is a pun, the self-shining one is called Kashi. We saw that. Sa Tirthavarya. Tirthavarya means she is the most exalted of all the Tirthas. And also she is the one to be chosen, because all the other pilgrimage sites, they give you peace of mind as long as you're there. Because there is some kshetra, what is that? Kshetra mahima. Meaning there is like if you go to Vasishtha Gufa near Rishikesh. So there where sage Vasishtha meditated. You go there and immediately, even if you don't know M for meditation, how to, the spelling of meditation you don't know, you go sit there and you immediately feel like meditating. You get into a very tranquil state. That is the power of that place, because Vasishtha meditated there for God knows how many years and it's still continuing. But then what happens as soon as you come out of the Guha, Vasishtha Guha, what happens? All the problems and pains and sorrow and incompleteness follows you. So therefore, any kind of a pilgrimage place you go to, then the effects are temporary. Same thing to visit Mahatmas. You go sit in front of the Mahatma and all the problems and the questions and the fears and the tears go away. Then you say, oh, I didn't need to see the Mahatma at all. I'm fine. And then you go away from the Mahatma. What happens? They all come back. And so therefore, I want this for myself. I don't want to depend on having darshan of either a tirtha or a Mahatma. I don't want that. I want to do this on my own. I want to recognize this truth for myself. So therefore, this Kashi, the pilgrimage to the inner Kashi, is much more fruitful than the outer Kashi because it has lasting effects, permanent effects, effects of removal of samsara. So don't focus on the in outer Kashi. And then, oh, but I miss the Ganga. And the third line says, Jnana Pravaha. It's in the form of I am, I am, I am, I am. That flow of understanding of the I as always the same, always there, without a beginning, without an end, always there, is the is to be understood, and it shines in a pure antakarana, free of raga and dvesha, free of preferences and prejudices, and then this is the nija bodha rupa. This is my true and this is the truth of myself. This is the content of myself. And then this is, of course, Tvam Pada Vichara. The second verse gives Tat Pada Vichara from two standpoints. From the standpoint of Ishvara, what is the connection between me and Ishvara, the cause of the universe? Okay, I can withdraw the mind and I can do all these things, but what is that connection between myself and the source of this Shanti, which is Bhagavan? And and also one more question: what is this pesky thing called Jagat? What is this thing called Jagat? Why is it there? What is this Jagat? And Jagat, in fact, is the etymology of the word Jagat is Jayate, is born, Gachati, is gone. Yeah. And see how seriously we take it. That which is born is gone. Is born is gone. And I think we should start referring to the Jagat in this way from now on. So if you're in a difficult situation, you can say is born is gone. That's all. Doesn't stay. It's born, gone, born, gone, gone, born, born, gone. Gone, 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 gone. Yeah, mostly gone. Jayate is born. Gachati is gone. So the ja of Jayate and ga of Gachati is taken. Jagat. That's all it is. I love Sanskrit for this reason. That's why it should be studied. It's really fascinating and wonderful. So this thing which is born, gone, gone, born, gone, born, how much time we spend discussing it, thinking about it. He said, she said, that one said, this one said, oh, this one doesn't like me, that one doesn't, this one dissed me, that one did that to me, and this is and how it is and why it is like this, and when will anybody love me, and all these things. So next time, even before you get into a state, you tell yourself every day, as soon as you wake up, you say, born, gone, gone, gone. This is a nididhyasana. Yeah. And you can't even have the excuse, I don't know Sanskrit. I'm not using Sanskrit words. Yeah. Just say born, gone, gone, born. Any thought that comes, you say born, gone, gone, born. Yeah. But where is the is? It should be born and it is gone. You are not talking of the is. That is you. Free of gone, free of born. Okay? Yeah. Even if that's not clear, say yes. Even if you don't feel like it, say yes. So this is the reality. The Jagat is mostly gone. Vismriti prayah means mostly not there. And especially if you ask, there was one Pujya Swamiji's friend was there in Rishikesh, and he was a Mahatma who was always meditating. And then devotees would come and say, I have lot of problems, how to deal with the problems in the world. And he was always kind of in a half trance, and then they had to shake him to answer some questions. And when he was shaken awake, he would say, what world? No, but the world, don't you see me? Yes, I see you. See, that's the world. See here, sight, seen are all different. This was a very erudite bhakta who went to him. And then see here, sight and seen are all different. See you, see me. So that means I am separate from you. This is what we are talking about. He says, I don't see you. I see only your body. And what is the body? Gone, gone. And if maybe I'm clairvoyant, I can read your mind. I don't know why anybody would want to read anybody's mind. The most boring siddhi is being able to read other people's minds. I'm telling you, the worst siddhi in the whole world. Think of your own thoughts, how boring they are. So, what makes you think the other person will have interesting thoughts? They'll be more boring than yours or equally boring. So, but supposing somebody had this boring siddhi called clairvoyance, and then you listen to, you listen to their thoughts. What are you objectifying? Their thought, you're not objectifying them. And what are the thoughts? Hello, even after telling the answer, it's not even. Born. Born, gone, born, gone, born, gone. Sense organs, born, gone, born, gone, born, gone. And what is the is? The is you. That isness upon which canvas everything is born and everything is gone is you. Catch hold of that and let go of the gone born. Why? Because it is born gone. Why simply catch hold of that which doesn't stay? And so the Jagat, the nature of the Jagat is born gone, and to that which is born gone, I don't give it the time of day. So I let go. And the letting go again has to be happening on the thought level, because the Jagat is cognized how? In the form of thoughts. The Jagat is here. So whatever is out there is inconsequential because it is filtered through my thinking. It is in the form of vrittis, thoughts, which are born and gone. So those vrittis are here today, gone today. Here now, gone now. Gone, born, gone, born, gone. Yes, mostly gone. And so therefore, now talking about the Jagat, it is called Mano Vilasa, a play of the mind. Sometimes it is rough play. Yes. Dishum, like Bollywood. So, fisticuffs. Yeah. Sometimes it is running around trees, very peaceful. Yeah. The Bollywood movies, every Bollywood movie is a musical, and then they all run around trees and then sing. They sing their thoughts. Manovilasa. Where is it all happening? In your mind. It's all happening in your mind. And what is the status of this mind? To that which you say, never mind. That is the mind. That's the only thing in certainty you can say about the mind. What can you say? Never mind. That's all it is. And so, this Manovilasa, this Jagat is a projection of Ishvara. In fact, that is also wrong to say. To be very correct, we can say this Jagat is a projection that is Ishvara. Because what can you say about the Jagat? It is. What is Ishvara. If you spell Ishvara in English, what are the first two letters? Is. Yeah. What is Ishvara? This isness is Ishvara. And then if you unpack this isness, what is there? Sat Chit Ananda. If you unpack your own existence, what is there? Sat Chit Ananda. Therefore, you are non-separate from Ishvara. The only thing that is not born and is not gone is Sat Chit Ananda, which happens to be the truth of this jiva, which is malingering in this body mind sense complex, identified with it, crying because of this. And then what is that same truth, Satchidananda, is the body of Ishvara also, unlimited upadhi, limitless body. And transcending all bodies, transcending all minds, and its intelligence, knowledge without a mind. That's why it is limitless. So, therefore, it is like a relationship between the ocean and the wave. The ocean can say, oh, the ocean won't say much. The wave can say, oh, I am separate, and the ocean is separate. Ocean is God. And then we have some theologies of dualism. Dualistic theologies come from this place. Then we have something called qualified dualism. Sometimes dual, sometimes not dual. I am the wave can say, I am part of the ocean. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong in saying I'm separate from the ocean also. It's just a, what's that? It's just from a particular standpoint, it looks separate. But looks are not everything. The appearance cannot be the reality. Many things appear a certain way, but they are not what, what they appear. And then, if one is ready for this, one can say, I am one with the ocean. Why? Because what is the truth of me or the wave? Water. What is the truth of ocean? Water. So if you want to touch the ocean, you don't have to take a boat and pack to the ocean all over the place. You just have to catch one wave. You just have to let the wave wash over your feet, and that itself means you have gone and touched the ocean. Touching a wave is touching the ocean. And then there is no wave without ocean. In fact, wave is ocean, but ocean transcends wave. Just like we say pot is clay, but clay is not pot. Ornament is gold, but gold is not ornament. So this is all a kind of a one-way situation. Only one way it is applicable. So wave is ocean. Ocean is not wave. And so ocean transcends the upadhi called the wave. So Jiva is Ishvara. You cannot say Ishvara is Jiva. Thank God. If Ishvara also were Jiva, then Ishvara will also be complaining. You go to Mahavishnu and say, oh, please help me. I'm having problems in my life. Vishnu will say, what? No, no, I just had a fight with Lakshmi. What's happening right now? We are not getting along. We are going to see Shiva for counseling. Yeah. This is what would be the case. In fact, the only thing that separates Jiva from Ishvara is that one complains and the other one does not. Yeah. When you take notes, write down the right one which complains. So this was the, I think, a kind of a gist of the second verse. Let me make sure that that's what, yeah. So Satchit Sukhaika, this is the Rupa, Paramatma Rupa. So this is the Rupa, Swarupa of me. Sat, it is Sat, it is Chit, it is Sukha, and then it is this is what I am. This is exactly what the what I have to do. And so, therefore, what? So this is so Sakashikaham Nijabodha Rupa. Now there is a what is that? In verse number 3, in verse number 3, there is a tune change because there is a meter change. No, not verse number 3. I think verse number 4. Yeah, yeah. Verse number 3 is okay. Yeah. कोशेषु पञ्चस्वधिराजमाना बुद्धिर्भवानी प्रतिदेहगेहम् साक्षी शिवः सर्वगतोऽन्तरात्मा साकाशिकाहं निजबोधरूपा together. कोशेषु पञ्चस्वधिराजमाना बुद्धिर्भवानी प्रतिदेहगेहम् साक्षी शिवः सर्वगतोऽन्तरात्मा साकाशिकाहं निजबोधरूपा. So that Kashi, which Kashi? The inner Kashi, the truth of myself, That Kashi is what? Kosheshu Panchasu Adhirajamana. Adhirajamana. She, that Kashi is she. Why? Samvit, Chit and all are she, feminine. So Kashi, the self-shining one, where is she? If you want to see where she is located, how can you fix a location for the all-pervasive one? Is that possible? No. But this is the human mind. If I am Kashi, where is that Kashi? Show me inner Kashi. What is the GPS for inner Kashi? Chant Guru Paduka Stotram. Yeah, GPS. That's all. No other thing to do. So, but still, the penchant for understanding the location of this self-shining self will not go. Because the mind wants to categorize everything and the mind wants to put everything in boxes. So here is a box. And what is the box? I have located inner Kashi and I have the coordinates. This is how you have to go. Take a left turn when you meet this raga. You go past the few dveshas and then there it is. Yeah. That is not helpful. But yet we appreciate the spirit of this question because there is no way of understanding where it is. And not only where it is, there's even more of a question is why am I not finding it? If it is the truth of me, I should know it. Why do I not know this? Therefore, these five places where the error of thinking myself to be born and gone is made is referred to here as kosheshu panchasu in the five koshas. Koshavat achadakatvat koshaha, that which hides like even a scabbard which is in the shape of a sword. So a scabbard is a covering for the sword. So that nobody cuts themselves accidentally. So in the past, people used to carry swords, and the sword had to be put in a cover which was made of wood or some thick material or steel, and then it would be a cover for the sword. But when you look at the cover from far, what would you think it is? Sword. That's the whole idea. That's why it is like a kosha. It hides this because it is in the akara. Of course, Atma is Nirakara, but then it takes on the shape. The Atma takes on the shape of everything that it lights up and inhabits. So it's very difficult to cognize, especially it is impossible to cognize as an object because it is the content, the truth of the cognizer. And so one is primed, therefore, to make five mistakes. What is the first mistake? Dehoham. I am the body. Body is fat, I am fat. Body is thin, I am thin. Body is tall, I am tall. Body is short, I am short. But how do you know I'm not the body? Go to sleep. Not right now. But when you go to sleep, where is this body? Whether it's fat or short or thin or tall or whatever you think it is, where is the body? Somebody can take you physically, take you along with the body and put you in a different room. You will not come to know. So therefore, this body is what? Gone. Gone, gone. Gone, gone. Yes. No, don't say like that. I'm not ready to go. See, here you go again. I didn't say you were ready to go. I didn't say you are gone, gone. What did I say? Body is gone, gone. Yeah, you are much more than this body. Why? Because body doesn't complain. Body doesn't say, I need to lose weight. Yeah. If you give it 4 more idlis, it will pack it in nicely. No problem. No problem at all. Body does not have a complex centered on itself. And if you start starving it, it will say, "Oh my God, I better slow down the metabolism." Yeah, body doesn't have a complex centered on itself. You do. never the right height, never the right weight, never the right skin color. But yet, we have a way of identifying only as the body. And as though that is not bad enough, in Western countries, one identifies by the color of the hair. I am blonde. You? What is this? I'm a bunch of yellow hair. That's all it is. I don't know which is worse. To say I am blonde or to say I am bald. Which means what? I'm a bunch of non-existent hair. Very strange ways we have of identifying ourselves. You can see how arbitrary it is, how utterly useless it is. And the body identification is a very big thing. Don't touch me. You see, what did I touch? I touched the body. But then what did the person say? Don't touch me. Me is equal to the body. If something happens to the body, ow, 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 I am hurting. And Pujya Swamiji used to tell the story of this 12-year-old boy who said, oh, just terrible aches and pains, can't, this thing, started to cry, was inconsolable. The parents took him to the emergency room. They didn't know what else to do. Where is it hurting? It's hurting everywhere. Everywhere it is hurting. And then the doctor said, okay, this is going to be a while. So then the doctors and the nurses, they said, okay, is it hurting here? 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 No. The boy was forced to say, because I'm touching you, is it hurting here? No. Okay, so the upper part of the body is not hurting. Are we correct? Yes. So the lower part of the body is hurting. Yes, the whole lower part of the body is hurting. And then so like this, they kept on individualizing and localizing each body part, and it turned out that he had a small hangnail in the little toe of the left foot. Okay, so this is just this is everybody's situation. Here it is put in an exaggerated way, but it is everybody's situation. Small thing happens for something that is born and gone, but then I make a huge deal out of it. And so this is what is called the pitfall of Annamaya, Annamaya Kosha. Annamaya Kosha, that which as though covers the Atma like a scabbard covers the sword, so that you don't see the sword and mistake the scabbard for the sword. And so similarly here, the body is Brahman, the body is non-separate from Atma, but Atma cannot be said to be the body, just like the gold is ornament is gold, but gold cannot be said to be ornament. So there is an even more inner, more pervasive Atma than the Annamaya. Annamaya is the body is falsified for obvious reasons. It is inert, it is subject to birth and death, and it is finite, and therefore, and it occupies, it is a product of time and space, and so therefore it cannot be Atma, which is sentient, which is not an object, which is not a product of time and space, which is whole, which is free, and which has no birth, no death. So then we go to the next one, further inner, and then more pervasive, which is pranamaya. And this is even more difficult to negate than the body. As we grow deeper and deeper, it is more and more hard to negate. Why? Because it is subtle, and the identification with the subtle is very difficult to negate. So prana. Prana means what? How do you know you are not the prana? Hold your breath? No. That is not the way to know I am not prana. You have to see that I am the one wielding the prana. And what makes the body alive is the prana. I am the sentience that does not need to breathe in order to just be myself. That sentient I is the one that links the body and the breath. And therefore the body becomes sentient, like the moon becomes lit because of the sun. So like that, the body is indirectly sentient. Prana also is indirectly sentient thanks to the presence of the self-shining, self-sentient I, which blesses the prana to bless the body. This is how I have to think of it. No need to hold the breath. But if I watch the breath, I know I am not the breath. Because if I watch the breath, who am I? Sakshi. Sakshi. Breath comes and goes. What am I? The witness of the breath. Then, next one, Manomaya. Manomaya is the Manaha is another place of a pitfall where I think this to be myself. And why do I think the mind to be myself? Because there is a great identity. I have identified with my mind, so I think the mind to be myself alone. And then what do I do? If the mind is restless, what do I say? I am restless. Mind is sad, I am sad. Mind is complaining, of course, I am complaining. And so the mind also cannot be Atma because the Atma blesses the mind to complain. See how nice of the Atma, how much freedom it gives. The mind equips the Atma to complain, to cry, to rave and rant. But the mind also, like the body, like the prana, is born, is gone. Then after that, what do we have? Vijnanamaya. Vijnanamaya means the sense of doership, even subtle and even more pervasive. I am the author of all these things. I am Karta. And this too is a superimposition upon the I that is free from all doership. And so, therefore, this is not at all the Atma. It is another as though covering. And then finally we have Anandamaya. Anandamaya is not Ananda. It is Ananda is my nature. It is that same Ananda, crumbs of that Ananda experienced through the division of the subject and object. I am the experiencer and I am having a little spot of Ananda to enjoy. I'm imbibing a little bit of Ananda, and that is what is said in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. This Ananda only people take in little bits, thimblefuls they take, because they are the only kind of Ananda that people who don't know Vedanta, the only kind of Ananda they are familiar with and they know is I, the subject, separated from the object, let's say chocolate cake, and then I fuse myself into with the chocolate cake. I attain oneness with the chocolate cake after first saying aha and then saying swaha. So then, after I attain oneness with the chocolate cake, I say, okay, I'm satisfied. I have conquered the chocolate cake. This is the only kind of ananda I know, where the thing of enjoyment is separate from me and I make it one by bringing it close to the sense organs, letting the sense organs completely experience them, and there is a certain immersion that happens between there's a fusion of the subject object, and the fusion is a circumstantial fusion of the subject with the object, and as long as that fusion lasts, the ananda lasts, and as long as the cake is over, what is left is a stomach ache. Yeah, that's all there is. So, therefore, this Anandamaya also is not Atma. Why? Because it again has all these flaws. It has the flaws of finitude. It is an object of experience, and then therefore it is not me. So, what is me? The truth of the enjoyer, experiencer, and the experienced. That which transcends the experiencer and experience divide. That sentient consciousness in whose presence the experiencer is, in whose presence the object of experience is, in whose presence the means of experience also is. That same consciousness which as though morphs into experiencer, which as though morphs into the object of experience and the means of experience without being any one of them. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes. You want me to repeat it? Yes. If you say yes to both, either you're truly accommodative people or this bears repetition. So, in any kind of an experience, there are three things. This is called the triputi, the tripod. So, what is there? I have to be there. Who is this I? Experiencer. I'm the one who is experiencing things. Then the object of experience, should it be there or not?
Yes.
Yes, it should be there. Otherwise, well, I cannot be called an experiencer. I am called an experiencer only in relation to that particular object, is it not?
Yes.
Yes. So I am there as experiencer, and then experienced is this object, and then the bridge between the two, between myself and the object of experience, has to be a particular sense organ. So it has to be one of the five senses. Or if I'm, what is that, deducing it, inducing it, it could be like that, anumana, inferring. So inference, some means of knowledge bridges these two. One pramana bridges these two. The pramana that I handle. So if we keep it to, confined to a small example, then it is very clear. Like I like chocolate cake, and then what is there? The object of experience, chocolate cake. Me, the potential experiencer. And then, of course, the mouth is open, the tongue is ready to sample this chocolate cake. The sense of the means of knowledge called the tongue is there. So, what do? We think of these three things as separate. Each one is separate. Chocolate cake separate from me, and the sense organ called tongue separate, and everything has to come together. But that's not what is happening. In in real timelessness, that's not what is happening. Because the experiencer, the truth of the experiencer is Satchit Sukha Atma. And the truth of the experience, the chocolate cake is also what? Brahman. Well, you can tell yourself next time you have it. You feel less guilty. Yeah. I'm becoming one with Brahman. Yes. Chocolate cake is Brahman. No denying that. Chocolate cake is definitely Brahman. Brahman is not cake. That's all. Okay. So chocolate cake is definitely what? Brahman. And who am I? I'm also Brahman. And then the means of knowing, which is the tongue, rasana, is also what? Brahman. So then how did Brahman become all three? Brahman did not become all three. Oh, it became only one? No, it did not become. No becoming is possible for Brahman. Any discussion of Brahman becoming is very unbecoming. Yes. So Brahman did not become the experiencer. Brahman lends its light, its presence, reveals the experiencer which is non-separate from itself. Brahman as though morphs into the experiencer without undergoing any change. Brahman as though morphs into the object of experience without undergoing any change. And since there is no time, all of this is happening simultaneously. And Brahman also morphs into the sight, the nose, the eyes, etc., without undergoing any change. So these three legs of the tripod, experiencer, object of experience, means of experience, are revealed to be what? And as though manifestation of that same consciousness without it having undergone any change. That's why it is called Vivarta Karanam. The mechanism by which Brahman has quote unquote become the Jagat is called, it just manifests as the Jagat without undergoing any change. It has not become the Jagat at all. So I hope that is clear. And so therefore Anandamaya also is not Atma. So Panchasu Kosheshu Adhirajamana. So what is the Atma? The innermost of them all. the innermost truth of the innermost only from the standpoint of the body mind sense complex. Don't look where it is in, and then do what kind of a probe do I need to look at it. It's not an object. It is the truth of the looker. It is the truth of the seeker. So innermost only from the standpoint of the body mind sense complex, we say that which is the truth of the body mind sense complex. It is the innermost in and through all these areas of mistakes. When the mistakes are removed, the Atma, Nija Bodha Rupa, Kashi shines. This is how to go to the Kashi, overcome the five koshas, and you are there. And then how do I know this? You have to take recourse to the buddhi, the intellect. Who is this buddhi? Bhavani, goddess. Goddess Bhavani. Because when you go to Kashi, two things are important to see. The Vishwanath temple and then the Annapurna temple. These two things people definitely go see. There are many temples, and in the temple complex, so many temples are there, but these two one definitely goes and sees. And so Buddhi Bhavani. This Buddhi is the goddess. This Buddhi definitely is the goddess. Why? Because she has to sift through, the Buddhi has to sift through what is correct, what is not correct, and throw away the incorrect understanding, throw away all kinds of notions about the self, about the Jagat, about other jivas, about Ishvara. All these things it has to throw away, and it has to understand that it is one with everything. So, Bhavani means the goddess who removes samsara. And so, this Buddhi is the goddess who removes samsara. She is allergic to samsara. And where she is, there is no samsara. So she is in the form, so in the masculine form, it is called Bhava. And then feminine form, Bhavani, the goddess who overrides samsara, who has conquered samsara, and her grace upon the buddhi, blessed by that grace, well, what happens? One also conquers samsara, one gains moksha. Buddhi Bhavani. Buddhi is called Bhavani. Very beautiful here, imagery. Yeah, Buddhir Bhavani. And then what? Buddhir Bhavani. Where is this Bhavani? Pratideha Geham. Where is the abode of this Bhavani? In every body which is her home. Your body is the home of Bhavani. Very beautiful. One more reason not to abuse the body. It's not yours. It's not your home. You can say it is Bhagavan's home, Bhagavati's home. So therefore, I have to keep it in tip-top condition. And it's also moksha ayatanam. It's a vehicle for moksha. So I have to keep it in a tip-top condition. Buddhi is who? Bhavani. And Buddhir Bhavani. And where is she? Pratideha Geham. She has made everybody, pun intended, everybody, her home. She is in everybody. And everybody is her home. And so she's all pervasive. And because of that, she can abide in everybody. And that is who is the truth of this body also. And then the other one, the next line, Sakshi Shivaha. Sakshi Shivaha. Beautiful. So Buddhi is Bhavani. Buddhi means the one, the analytical faculty, the faculty of certainty, the faculty of the place where the Atma Jnanam happens is called Buddhi. Buddhi is the faculty where Atma Jnanam takes place. So right now, everybody's Buddhi is hopefully working. Atma Jnanam is taking place. Buddhi is working. So Buddhi is the receptacle where the knowledge happens. The knowledge takes place in the Buddhi. And then what is Shiva? Bhavani is there. Shiva has to come. Shiva is Sakshi. Sakshi is Shiva because Shiva means what? The embodiment of the Atma itself. Why the embodiment of the Atma itself? Non-actor. na karoti, na karayati, does not do, does not cause the actions indirectly to be done. Sukham aste, sits quietly, na kurvan na karayan, without doing anything and without causing anything to be done, sits quietly in one place. This is what is called, Sakshi. So I am that Sakshi. What is this Sakshi? Shiva Swarupa. Shiva in meditation, Shiva who is observing everything happening without getting involved in anything is what? Sakshi. So the difference between Buddhi and Sakshi, very interesting. Buddhi he has to make certain inferences, has to understand what is told. The Buddhi is active and the Buddhi leans forward and creates. It has creativity. It is from the Buddhi springs all our creativity, springs from the faculty called the Buddhi. Music, dance, many other body of knowledge that one masters, it's all because of the Buddhi. And the Sakshi is when the Buddhi falls back onto its truth. It is Sakshi. So just like on the macro level, the goddess is credited with the creation of this universe, Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti Swarupini. She has the power to desire, the power to know, the power to act, and she creates this. And then, whereas Brahman is non acting. In fact, what is she is he. There is no difference between she and he. They are step in step. It's only two standpoints. From the standpoint of the manifesting power, we say she. From the standpoint of the one that is falling back on itself, that Satchit Sukhaika Atma, we say he. So Sakshi Shivaha. Sakshi Shivaha. And then what else does it say? Sarvagataha. Where is this Sakshi? Everywhere. Sarvagataha Antaratma. Sarvagataha, the innermost Atma, Pratyagatma, available as the truth of you. Sakshi Shivaha, Sarvagataha Antaratma. And then what else? Sa Kashika Aham Nijabodha Rupa. I am the self-shining self in the form of this Kashi. We are having a very nice tour, aren't we? Yes. So now time for a small break. 15 minutes later, we will gather and then we will study the last two verses. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. I will pause the recording. Somebody please remind me to unpause it, okay? Yes.